The standard way for Opcenter APS to create links between operations, it is using the operation number. Remember that we have links between orders and links between operations. So for example, here, we only have links between operations because I have not run the pagging material. So I don't have, for example, links between the supply to here. Let's do that so for you to understand the difference. Let me run a default pagging rule. Let me reschedule this, and now I have the links between supply records to the operations, right? So the difference between links between operations of the same orders and links between let's say links between different orders, it's that links between different orders are dashed lines, dotted lines, and link between operations of the same orders are solid lines, okay? So by default, you have that in order to start operation 20, you need to finish operation 10. In order to start operation 30, you need to finish operation 20, and so on and so forth. But let's say that this spiraling here, it's also operation 30. Because I have two spiraling machine, you could run those two operations in parallel, for example. Of course, this is not a practical example, it's just to demonstrate you the capabilities of the software. After you manually change one operation here, the operation number, in this example, you need to run a pagging rule again, so the link between operations got recreated. So now you see that after operation 20, I have two solid links going to those two operations 30. So now if I reschedule this order, you see that those two operations 30, they are running in parallel. And in order to start operation 50, which is the next operation in this example, it's waiting for both of them to complete, okay? In this example, it's waiting for this one because this one is a longer operation, but let's say that this operation, it is a longer one. This is going to take 3 days, for example. Yeah. Now, if you repair your schedule, you see that this operation now waiting for this one. You could do the same for those two operations here. So let's say that this is operation 50. So I have two operations 50 now, and if I run my pagging material, you see that I have two arrows coming out of this one. So those two operations needs to wait for this, and also two arrows coming out of this operation. So those two operations also needs to wait for this operation to complete. But I only have one armoring machine. So at the end, the schedule result will be the same. So let's simulate that this here can go to a different, let me put a time per batch, and this can go into a different resource. So let's say extrusion 1 resource, all right. Now, this operation goes to the armory, and this operation will go to the extrusion resource. So they also can go in parallel, like you can see here, all right? Okay, so this is a great way to simulate parallel operations. And so, for example, the main product goes to another machine, and while this other machine is running, you are doing a inspection that consumes a different resource as well. So this can be simulated using operation numbers. Okay. Also, we have split batch functionality. Okay, so let me close this and reopen because I want to use the standard durations and links between operations. Okay, so I need to reschedule. There we go. So let's say that you want to split this operation here. So half of it runs in the spirally 1 and half of it runs into a spirally 2 resource. If you right click, you have the split batch. Let me filter this order here so it's easier to find. Oh, it's already filtered. And that same right click menu is available in here, split batch here, okay? But let's do it from the Gantt chart. So let's say that I want to split this. I have my full batch of 603, and I want to split to have one with 150, another one with 153. Sorry, needs to be 300, right? So 300 and 303. So you see that it doesn't automatically reschedule. But if you come here, you see that I have a new operation 30 with that 300 quantity that we manually specified. Now, if you reschedule this order, you see that I have now two operations running in parallel. But the links were not recreated. Okay, so remember that after you do those types of changes, you need to rerun the pegging material. And now this operation is waiting for both of them to complete. Okay, so if you repair, you got it corrected. And you could go further and split into, for example, this one with 300, I want to do 150. And this as well, I want to do 150. So at the end, we have, you see here, 4 operation 30. Of course, the total here was still going to be 603. In this particular case, that's not going to be a huge benefit because you only have 2 possible resources, right? So let me pack material again and let me run. So you see that the schedule result is pretty much the same, but you're just scheduling 4 operations instead of 2 of them. Remember that the duration, even though the quantity is very similar, the duration is different because the performance of each spiraling machine is different from one another. So even though if you equal the quantity here between the two, the duration will be different. But if you, for example, schedule this one here and schedule this one here, you see that it's not at the operation level, the efficiency difference is at the resource level, right? Okay, so another good functionality that you can have with the split batch is to simulate a pause on a given operation. So let's say that my current date and time it's in here. Let's say 10 of May 9, 10 a.m. May 9, and at 10 a.m. May 9, 10 a.m. Is it 10? Oh, no, it's 10 p.m. Sorry. So 10 p.m. May 9, I have completed 200. Right? Yeah, that's 10 p.m. So you see that I have completed 200 until 10 p.m. May 9. And now something happened, and you need to postpone the outstanding quantity, which is in this case going to be 403, right? So let me pick up that. Right, that's fine. So you can simulate that by doing a split batch. So if you split batch here and say that 200, so actually if you say 200, you are going to create a new batch of 200, but you have completed already the 200 batch, so you actually need to put here the outstanding quantity, which is the 403. So if you do so, you see that those outstanding quantity goes away. Coming back to the editor, I have here another operation 10 with this 403. And now, remember that the pegging material needs to run. If you schedule this operation, this order here, you get here now a new batch that you can postpone to a later date. And you can just drag and drop, or you can say that I have a problem with this particular batch, and the quality department is telling me that I will be able to start again this batch on this particular date here. Let's say 16. Okay, so if you do so, you see that operation got highlighted in green. It means that it's scheduled before a time constraint. In this case, the time constraint, it is the earliest start date. So now if you repair your schedule, this operation will be delayed to the right date and time. Okay? All right, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.